and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question though.
There.
Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man, given chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the common council president and the common council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, I don't know how to put it. 3 dead, 24 people injured, 4 dead, 9 injured. Mayor Cavalier Johnson in Milwaukee called the violent weekend in Milwaukee. Let me do that again. From the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, an article written by Jessica Rodriguez and Hannah Kirby. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson called the violent weekend the city experienced entirely unacceptable after several shootings left at least 3 people dead, 20 people, it was over 20 people, I believe, injured from early Friday to late Sunday. Johnson pleaded for people to step up in ways that will help stop the bloodshed. Gun violence, it's people. Why do you keep blaming a gun? If you get rid of a gun, they'll use their hands, they'll use a knife, they'll use whatever. We need to stop the behavior. The issue is the behavior. And we don't seem to understand that. We don't seem to get the fact that it doesn't matter what you do, it's what you use. And so they seem to believe that. But at some point, we've got to come that individuals make decisions to hurt, shoot, kill, rob, steal, and getting rid of a gun, will that change the behavior? We seem to always pick the lowest hanging thing to say, if we just get rid of that. That's like saying, if we get rid of cars, we won't have any reckless driving. That's true. We won't have any traffic. Gas sales won't be made. Notice the trickle down? People won't have jobs. Like there's so many things tied to it. Now, I'm not saying you equate that to a gun. But really, when the person is arrested, prosecute them and put them in jail. Stop looking for reasons why things are happening in a community. Do you honestly believe if this was a white suburb, we'd be actually having this conversation? The police would have already been locking people up. The DA would have been prosecuting people. We have a press conference. The first shooting that took place, 1100 block of North Water Street. Really? Water and Highland. The second, 5:30 a.m. Saturday. 17-year-old girl killed. 17-year-old, another 17-year-old girl was injured in a double shooting, 4400 block of West Hampton. The first girl died. The second one will survive. Speaking of, how's this for records, Mr. Mayor? The 17th girl, right? The 17-year-old girl was the 17th child to die by homicide. No, I'm not calling out the mayor. I'm saying we need a little bit more from our leadership. We could go on and on and on. And I have a list of every single shooting and homicide that happened over the weekend. And it's unacceptable, but then the story goes on to say the statement issued by Cavalier Johnson. So gun violence over the weekend is entirely unacceptable in the city. My thoughts are with the shooting victims, their families, and their friends. The Milwaukee police have made arrests and are continuing to investigate all the incidents that took place. The Milwaukee Fire Department provided emergency medical services and deserve praise for their work. I insist our criminal justice system fully prosecute and punish those responsible for this violence. I'm directing the Office of Violence Prevention to take every reasonable step to educate, intervene, and mediate so that we can reduce the gun violence here. I again ask everyone, parents, neighbors, teachers, preachers, and mentors to step up in ways that will help stop the bloodshed. I will add, leaders and legislators must take a renewed look at our gun laws to decrease the likelihood that guns end up in the hands of people who should not have them. How do you stop that? How do you stop a person who decides and purposes in their heart and mind to do something from doing it? Unless the police are there when they make up their mind, it's not going to happen. Unless you hold them accountable for the crimes that they do, it's not going to happen. But black people can't complain. They're locking up black people. If you're committing a crime, stop it. You cannot have it both ways. You can't talk about the prison industrial complex and a pipeline to prison and then commit crimes that send you to prison. And then want to mitigate it and have criminals come back to the community to re-victimize the same people. You cannot have it both ways. Make up your mind. That's the only real issue we have. The difference between the black community and the white community in Milwaukee is the white community made up their mind. They're not putting up with it. And that's pretty much it. And so when we start to look at two 18-year-old women shot, 35-year-old woman shot and killed, 33-year-old man shot, 21-year-old man shot and killed, 17-year-old girl shot and killed, 17-year-old girl shot, 53-year-old man shot, 20-year-old man shot, 20-year-old man shot. Here's the kicker. Saturday, 11:43 p.m., 14th and Burnham, 9 people shot, 6 men, 3 women, ages 16 to 42. A 19-year-old woman shot, 24-year-old man shot. 13th and Mitchell, Sunday, 8:30, 4 people shot, 29-year-old woman and 3 men. 55-year-old man shot and killed. And Sunday night at 11 p.m., 19th and Congress, 18-year-old shot. There are people there. There are people around. We have to have a better job at helping and supporting people who witness crimes and come forward. The system needs to get back to the way it used to be. A protector, not a victimizer. And so I support what Cavalier Johnson is saying and doing. But we don't need leaders and legislators to do their job. We just need the district attorney's office to lock people up prosecute them, and if they're found guilty, send them to prison. Period. Full stop. You're not doing anybody any good. And you know what the real problem is? Prosecutors cannot end up in the same place that the actor does. Prosecutors cannot end up in the same place where the person who commits the crime does. Because if they ended up in the same place, none of this would happen. If they ended up in the same place when they didn't do their job as a prosecutor, their record would be impeccable. And we know 4-letter words we can use. This one starts with a J, and we can send the person that's convicted, and sometime when they do their job, the prosecutor. You know what it is. It's called jail.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, it's your girl Mel from Nothing But the Truth, and we're